as our creator. It isn't simply an issue of rationality.
Okay. Third question, please.
My question is, how can we justify the prophecies that were prophesied in the Torah and the Bible and the Quran that actually happen in today's world? For example, the Noble Quran states, as we know, the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, the Noble Quran states, and it talks about the embryo, which is the baby in its mother's stomach. It states exactly the stages that they go through, from its inception to having a bone and a flesh and so on. How could a man 1,400 years ago know of the concept of the embryo when they didn't have any science? And today there are universities.
Okay, I think the question was clear.
Well, to answer that, basically, what was this, 1,400 years ago?
1,400, yeah.
How long?
1,400.
4,000?
1,000.
Yeah, 1,400 years ago. Very simple. I mean, you know, there were all kinds of miscarriages. I mean, the child mortality rate was extremely high back then. People would have seen an awful lot of spontaneously aborted fetuses and would have just been able to make that connection. You know, prophecies, I can prophesize about all kinds of stuff. Why aren't we listening to Nostradamus and people like that? I mean, prophecies are so inherently vague. You know, I could prophesize now, you know, that a great king will die at some point in the future and whatnot, or, you know, that sort of thing. And it might come true, it might not. And if it does somewhere in the world, I'm a great prophet.
Yeah, but you're not answering my question.
Well, do you want to take a...
Well, I did answer your question. How do they know maturation stages?
It's only fair. May I just ask, because you're an atheist, are you?
No.
So I'm... To the organisers, this is meant to be 3 atheist questions. It's not really fair to Dr. DiCarlo but anyway, thank you for the question. Atheists and non-atheists, you may sit down. Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
And Joe, you have 1 minute to answer that question.
Well, the issue of prophecy is, of course, a very interesting one. In the Old Testament, there are over 300 prophecies concerning the Messiah. There are 109 distinct individual different prophecies in the Old Testament. If you read the book of Daniel, for example, you will find that long before these occurrences took place, Daniel prophesied in minute detail, so minute that skeptics have said it must have been written after the event, about the rise and fall of various empires, including the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire, and indeed the coming of Christ and his kingdom. So biblical prophecy is important to Christians. Isaiah 53 prophesies the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ. These are not vague, these are not Nostradamus rhyming quatrains. There are detailed, explicit and specific prophecies that have meant skeptics have had to try and insist that they can't possibly have been written before the event, which would be the only recourse to account for them. Now, you can obviously only have prophecy if you have a God who knows the end from the beginning and who in his providence governs history.